A landscape of pure hell. The ground churns with mud and fire. Rain mixes with falling ash. The sound is overwhelming. Not just explosions, but the specific screech of metal tearing apart. Through the smoke, a Sherman tank, Badger, reverses violently. Its tracks claw at the mud, throwing up earth and debris. The world shakes with concussive force. Captain Jack Riedler, 40s, face hard as granite, has his eye pressed to the periscope. His breathing is controlled, but his knuckles are bone-white. Private Danny Miller, 19, the loader, slams a shell into the breach. His hands tremble so badly he almost drops it. "Danny, Panzer off! 300 yards! Loaded!" Sergeant Larry. Grimy Grimes, 30s, the gunner, squints through his scope. Grease stains cover his face. His voice is a low growl. "Grimy, he's got us sighted. Chavez, move this damn crate." The driver, Chavez, yanks the controls. The tank lurches sideways. A German Panzer IV fires. The shell doesn't hit them. It hits the Sherman ahead. Warthog. The impact is horrific. The Warthog doesn't just explode. It comes apart like a toy. The turret flies off, spinning into the air. Flames erupt from every seam. For a brief moment, we see a human shape silhouetted in the inferno before it vanishes. The shockwave hits them. The crew is thrown against their stations. Lights flicker. Miller stares at the burning wreck, his face pale with terror. "Danny," whispering. "Smitty. I just talked to Smitty this morning." Riedler's voice cuts through the horror, cold and sharp. Riedler Grimes. That Panzer. Now. Grimey's jaw tightens. His eye finds the target. Grimy on him. Steady. Steady. Riedler fire. The main gun roars. The tank jerks back. The Panzer IV erupts in a satisfying fireball. But the victory feels empty. German infantry now swarm past their position. They don't even look at the Badger. They flow around it like water around a rock, moving toward the American lines. The rain falls harder. Riedler helps drag a wounded soldier through the mud. The field is littered with broken machines and broken men. His eyes catch movement. A damaged German half-track, smoke pouring from its engine, limps toward the rear lines. It approaches a German checkpoint. The German sentry doesn't even check papers. He just waves it through. The half-track merges into the stream of other German vehicles retreating through the mist. Riedler freezes. His eyes dart from the burning wreck of the Warthog to the disappearing German vehicles. The idea hits him like a physical blow. It's not about strength, it's about camouflage, about becoming part of the enemy's flow. The air is thick with smoke and despair. Major Davis looks exhausted. Colonel Thorne from intelligence stands stiffly, his face unreadable. Riedler. "They're not checking identities, sir. They're checking colors. We watched them wave through damaged vehicles while they obliterated anything in olive drab." Colonel Thorne scoffs, but there's less conviction now. Colonel Thorne. The sound of a Sherman is distinct. The silhouette is different. Any trained observer? Riedler, cutting him off. "There are no trained observers left out there, Colonel. Just scared boys following orders. We don't need to fight through their lines. We need to drive through them." He lays out the plan. The German paint, the captured markings, the Eisenkron Bridge deep behind enemy lines. Colonel Thorne. "And if you're discovered?" Riedler. "Then we die as spies, not soldiers. But if we reach that bridge—" Major Davis finally speaks, his voice heavy. Major Davis. "The rules of engagement are simple, Captain. If you cannot take the bridge, you destroy it. There will be no rescue attempt. Officially, this conversation never happened." Riedler meets his gaze. Riedler. We're already dead out here, sir. This just gives us a choice in how we die. The transformation feels like a violation. Under the dim glow of blackout lamps, men slather German Dunkelgelb paint over their Shermans. The familiar olive drab disappears under the enemy's colors. Danny Miller carefully paints a black Balkenkreuz on the Badger's flank. His hand shakes. Danny. It feels wrong. Like we're betraying them. The guys in the Warthog. Grimy works nearby, welding captured German equipment to the turret. He doesn't look up. Grimy. The guys in the Warthog are dead, kid. This isn't about honor. It's about survival. Now make that cross straight unless you want to join them. Nearby, Lieutenant Michael Brenner, 20s, sharp-eyed tense, drills the crew. Brenner, repeat after me. We're gay? Rennen zur 21. Panzerdivision. Artig Zug zur Neugruppierung. The men mutter the German words awkwardly. The language feels alien in their mouths. Riedler walks down the line of transformed tanks. They look monstrous now. American machines wearing German skin. He stops by the Badger, placing a hand on its cold, freshly painted hull. He looks at his crew. The terrified loader, the cynical gunner, the intelligent but nervous translator. He's asking them to become the very thing they came here to destroy. The weight of the deception settles on him. They're no longer soldiers on a mission. They're ghosts preparing to walk through enemy lines. A thick, low fog clings to the ground. The world is muted, gray. 4 strange-looking tanks sit silently, their German paint jobs still wet. Inside the lead tank, Badger. The tension is physical. Every breath sounds too loud. Riedler, into radio, low voice. All elements, confirm status. Badger, ready. One by one, the other 3 tanks check in. Viper, Wraith, Ghost. Their voices are tight. Riedler. Remember the rules. No English outside the tank. No bravado. Look like you've been fighting a losing battle. Because we have. He takes a deep breath. This is the point of no return. Riedler Chavez. Take us in. The Badger's engine growls. It lurches forward, emerging from the tree line like a predator leaving its den. The other tanks fall in behind it. They pass the first signs of the real German retreat. A group of weary infantrymen trudge through the mud, their shoulders slumped. They don't even look up at the tanks. Through his periscope, Riedler sees more. A half-track abandoned with a broken track. A field kitchen serving a thin stew to hollow-eyed men. Then ahead, the first checkpoint. A simple wooden barricade manned by 2 sentries. One young, one old. The older one holds up a hand. Riedler, to Brenner low. Your show, Lieutenant. Brenner takes a breath, wiping his palms on his trousers. He pops the hatch open just enough to be heard. The older sentry calls out in German, German sentry, halt! Identify your unit. Brenner's reply is in fluent, accented German. Brenner 21st, Panzer Division. What's left of us? We're pulling back to regroup. He sounds exhausted, defeated. It's a perfect performance. The younger sentry shines a flashlight, the beam playing over the German crosses and markings. It lingers on the Sherman's distinctive silhouette. Young sentry to the older sentry. They're tanks. They look different. The older sentry squints, then shrugs. Older sentry. Everything looks different when it's broken. Go on through. The road to Eisenkron is still clear, for now. The barricade is pulled aside. Brenner sinks back inside, his face pale. He looks like he's going to be sick. Grimy, voice low. Holy hell! It worked. Riedler. It worked once. Chavez, move, steady pace. The convoy drives deeper into the beast's belly. The scenes outside are a bizarre mirror of war. They pass a column of German prisoners being marched under American guard. The prisoners look at the German tanks with hollow eyes. One American guard, a kid no older than Miller, gives them a thumbs up, thinking they're the real thing. Miller watches, his face a mask of conflict. Danny, whispering, "We should be helping them." "We're right here." Grimy, cleaning his sidearm, doesn't look up. Grimy, "Help them by not getting them killed, kid. We stop now, we all end up in a ditch." Later, they are forced to stop behind a stalled German convoy. A Wehrmacht officer, Oberleutnant Kraft, 30s, sharp, intelligent, walks down the line of vehicles. He stops by the Badger, rapping his knuckles on the hull. Kraft, calling up in German, "Tough day for the 21st, eh?" Brenner opens the hatch again, forcing a tired smile. Brenner, "You could say that. The Amies have new devilry." Kraft's eyes scan the tank, taking in every detail. He seems curious, not suspicious. Kraft, "Don't they just? What's your loadout?" "That gun looks unconventional." Inside the tank, everyone freezes. Grimy's hand slowly moves toward his submachine gun. Brenner's mind races. He forces a laugh. Brenner field modification. "We took what we could get. It's better than nothing." Kraft nods slowly, a fellow soldier understanding the struggle. "Kraft, aren't we all? We're headed to Eisenkron as well. Perhaps we'll see you at the bridge. Good luck." He moves on. Brenner slams the hatch shut, leaning back against the cold metal, breathing heavily. Riedler. That was too close. He was a professional. Grimy. "We can't take another inspection like that." He was looking at the welds on the storage box. The tension is a wire stretched to breaking point. Every checkpoint, every glance, feels like a potential death sentence. They round a bend, and the scene ahead makes Riedler's blood run cold. A full SS checkpoint. Black uniforms. A machine gun nest. And they are systematically searching every vehicle. An SS officer is tearing apart the belongings of a civilian family in a cart. He's screaming in their faces. Riedler, into radio. "All elements, combat stations." Quietly. "Load. He. But do not, I repeat, do not fire unless I do." The order is passed in whispers. The clunk of shells being loaded into breeches is the loudest sound in the world. The Badger rolls to a stop. The SS officer, Hauptscharf, Vogel, 40's dead eyes, approaches. He doesn't ask. He demands. Vogel in German. "Papers. Unit designation. Final destination." Brenner opens the hatch. His German is still fluent, but the confidence is gone. It's edged with fear. Real fear. Brenner, 21st Panzer, Eisenkron Bridge. Vogel walks around the front of the tank, his eyes missing nothing. He stops, staring at the bogey wheels on the suspension. The distinctively American design. He looks up at Brenner, his head tilted. "Vogel. Your vehicle. It has an interesting accent." He unholsters his Luger, not pointing it, just tapping it against his leg. "Vogel. Explain." Inside the tank, Miller has his hand over his mouth. Grimy has his finger on the trigger of the machine gun. Riedler's hand is raised, ready to give the signal to fire, to blow the whole charade to hell. Brenner looks down at the SS officer. He doesn't have an answer. The world has shrunk to the space between the SS officer's hand and his holstered Luger. Inside the Badger, the only sound is Miller's ragged breathing. Brenner looks down at Hauptscharf, Vogel. A bead of sweat traces a path through the grime on his temple. He has 1 second to find an answer. Brenner, in German, voice strained with forced indignation. It's a field workshop modification. The original suspension was shattered near St. El. We took what we could from captured stock. Would you prefer we walked? Vogel's dead eyes hold Brenner's. The moment stretches, taut as a wire. Then, a commotion at the checkpoint. A truck has stalled, its engine coughing black smoke. The driver is shouting. Vogel's attention wavers. Annoyed, he snaps his gaze back to Brenner. Vogel, sneering. The Wehrmacht scrapes the barrel. Move your junk. The bridge is 20 kilometers. Don't break down and block the road. He waves them through with a disgusted flick of his hand. Brenner gives a curt nod and drops back inside, collapsing into his seat. He looks physically ill. The tank rolls past the checkpoint. No one speaks for a full minute. The relief is suffocating. Grimy, low whistle. I just aged 10 years. Riddler. Save it. He wasn't convinced. He was just busy. He'll remember us. We need to get off this main road. The convoy rumbles down a narrow, muddy track, sheltered by dense pines. The decision has cost them time. Dusk is beginning to fall. Suddenly a figure stumbles out of the trees ahead, a wounded American paratrooper, his uniform torn, one arm clutched to his chest. He sees the German-marked tanks and freezes, despair on his face. He fumbles for a grenade. Riedler, into radio, urgent. Hold fire. All elements, hold fire. Riedler pops his hatch. Riedler, to the paratrooper, low and clear. We're Americans. 10th Armored. Get in, soldier. That's an order. The paratrooper stares, confused, at the German crosses, then at Riedler's American face. Hope and terror war in his eyes. He takes a step forward. From the trees, a burst of German MG-42 fire rips through the silence. The paratrooper is thrown back, his body jerking. He's dead before he hits the mud. A German patrol emerges, securing the area. Their commander, the same Oberleutnant Kraft, from the road, approaches the Badger. He looks from the dead American to Riedler in the hatch. Kraft. You're off course, Captain. The main road is safer, though it seems you found some sport after all. His tone is pleasant, but his eyes are calculating. He's studying Riedler's reaction. Riedler, in German, voice tight. We took a shortcut. It seems the forest is not secure. Kraft nods, a slow, deliberate motion. Kraft indeed. My unit is also heading to Eisenkron to reinforce the bridge. Our transport was destroyed. It seems we are both improvising. We will accompany you. It's not a request. It's a statement. Before Riedler can protest, Kraft barks orders. His dozen seasoned infantrymen begin climbing onto the hulls of the tanks, finding handholds on the German storage boxes. One of them, a grim-faced sergeant, settles right outside Riedler's hatch. They are now trapped. Hostages on their own vehicles. The tanks roll on, a nest of vipers. The presence of the Germans outside is a physical weight. Every word inside the tank is a whisper. Danny, whispering, frantic. We have to do something. They're right there. Grimy, sharp whisper. And do what? Shoot them? We're in the middle of their lines. The second we pop a hatch, we're dead. Riedler, quiet, to Brenner. He knows. Kraft. He's testing us. Watching. As if on cue, Kraft's voice comes from outside, tapping on the hull. Riedler opens the hatch a crack. The cold night air rushes in. Kraft. It is a lonely thing, Command, is it not, to bear the weight of so many lives. He's offering conversation, a officer's camaraderie. It's the most dangerous weapon he's wielded yet. Riedler, in German, it is a duty. Kraft one we both share. Tell me, Captain, what part of the fatherland do you call home? It's an innocent question, a landmine. Riedler's mind races. He has to pick a city he knows enough about. Riedler, Munich. The beer halls are memorable. Kraft, a faint smile. A beautiful city. I was born in Königsberg, a world away. Sometimes I wonder if the men we lead can even understand each other's dialects. He's probing, subtly, testing their knowledge, their backgrounds. The strain is breaking them. Miller jumps at every sound. Grimy has disassembled and reassembled his sidearm 3 times. Brenner stares at the radio as if it might come to life and betray them. Suddenly, one of the German soldiers outside starts singing a low, mournful folk song. A song about home. One by one, the other Germans join in. The sound is haunting, drifting over the rumble of the tanks. The Americans inside listen to the enemy sing of the same homesickness they feel. The shared humanity is more terrifying than any threat. Danny Miller puts his head in his hands. Danny, voice breaking. I can't do this. Grimy grabs his shoulder, his grip like iron. Grimy. You can. You will. You breathe. You load. You shut up. That's the job. Riedler meets Brenner's eyes. They both know the truth. They can't reach the bridge with Kraft and his men. The mission is already a failure. They have to get rid of them. But how do you kill your passengers without anyone hearing the screams? The convoy halts on a wooded bluff overlooking the River Rower. Below, the Eisenkron Bridge stretches across the dark water, a massive iron-framed structure vital to the German counteroffensive. It is heavily guarded. Flak guns at both ends, machine gun nests, patrols. But it's the sight at the near side of the bridge that makes Riedler's blood run cold. A full company of German engineers is preparing demolition charges. Cables snake across the ground, leading to a primary detonator. Riedler, whispering into radio. All elements hold position. They're wiring it to blow. Kraft, calling from outside the hatch. An impressive sight, no? A pity to destroy it. But better that than let it fall into enemy hands. Kraft drops down into view, his face illuminated by the faint moonlight. His expression is no longer casually probing. It is sharp, focused. He knows something is wrong. Kraft. Your men are very quiet, Captain. And your loader. He looks like he's seen a ghost. Or perhaps he is simply not used to being so deep behind his own lines. The accusation hangs in the air. The German infantrymen on the hulls shift, their hands moving closer to their weapons. Riedler, the mask of calm firmly in place. The boy is tired. We are all tired. It has been a long retreat. Kraft. Of course. A retreat. Then you will not mind if I coordinate with the bridge commander. Standard procedure. I will vouch for your unusual unit. This is it. The moment Kraft speaks to the bridge commander, their cover will be blown. The entire German garrison will be alerted. Riedler makes a split-second decision. A desperate, all-or-nothing gamble. Riedler. A good plan, Oberleutnant. But first, allow us to take our assigned positions. We were ordered to reinforce the eastern flank. We will form a defensive pocket there. It will show the bridge commander we are proactive. He points to a position on the near side of the bridge, right next to the primary flak emplacement and the engineer's detonator station. It is the most aggressive, most exposed defensive position possible, a position only a truly dedicated German unit would take. Kraft studies him, suspicion and military logic warring in his eyes. Taking that position is such a brazenly loyal move it momentarily confuses his certainty. Kraft. Very well. Take your position. I will join you shortly. Riedler doesn't wait. He slams the hatch. Riedler. All elements. Combat positions. East flank. Now. Fast and aggressive. Look like you own the damn place. The 4 German Shermans rumble out of the tree line and race towards the eastern flank of the bridge defense. The German sentries look up, surprised by the sudden, aggressive movement. But they see the markings and assume it's a prearranged reinforcement. The Badger grinds to a halt just meters from the 80mm flak gun and the engineer's detonator station. The other Shermans fan out, their turrets traversing, not towards the distant American lines, but covering the German positions around them. Through the periscope, Riedler sees craft running towards the bridge command post, yelling and pointing at their tanks. The time for stealth is over. Riedler, into radio, voice cold and clear. All elements, wildfire. I repeat, wildfire. Brenner, get on that detonator. The code word unleashes hell. Grimy gunner, target, flak gun, fire. The Badger's main gun roars. The shell impacts the 80mm flak gun directly, obliterating it and its crew in a shower of metal and fire. All around the bridge, chaos erupts. The other Shermans open up. Viper's machine gun stitches across the engineer's team, cutting down men before they can trigger the demolition. Wraith fires its main gun into a machine gun nest. German soldiers scramble, confused. They are being attacked from within their own perimeter. Lieutenant Brenner and 2 other soldiers burst from the Badger, submachine guns blazing, charging the detonator station. They are met by a hail of fire from the surviving German engineers. Riedler sees Kraft, now armed with a machine pistol, rallying a group of infantry and firing at Brenner's team. Riedler, grimy. Infantry cluster officer, suppress. Grimy on him. The coaxial machine gun on the Badger chatters, forcing Kraft and his men to take cover. Brenner reaches the detonator. A German engineer rises, bayonet fixed. Brenner fires a short burst, dropping him. He frantically begins tearing wires from the explosive device. A massive impact rocks the tank. A warning light flashes red. Chavez. We're hit. Tracks damaged. Grimy Panther. 10 o'clock. Riedler swings his periscope. A German Panther tank, its long barrel smoking, has emerged from its camouflaged position and is turning towards them. They are sitting ducks. Riedler, into radio. Ghost! Engage that Panther. By Brenner time. The Sherman. Ghost accelerates, placing itself directly between the Panther and the disabled Badger. The Panther fires again. The shell punches clean through Ghost's thinner armor. The Sherman explodes from within, flames erupting from every hatch. No one gets out. Miller screams in horror, watching his friends die. Danny Ghost is gone! They're all gone! Riedler, voice cutting through the panic. Miller, load canister, grimy, infantry on Brenner. Outside, Brenner has ripped the last of the wires. The bridge is safe from demolition, but he and his men are pinned down, surrounded by Kraft's advancing infantry. Kraft stands up, aiming his machine pistol directly at Brenner. Kraft, screaming, Spies! Riedler sees it through the periscope. There is no time. Riedler, grimy! Now. Grimy fires the main gun. The canister round, a massive shotgun shell, unleashes a storm of metal shards. It cuts down the German infantry in a wide swath. But it's too late for Brenner. Kraft, mortally wounded, squeezes his trigger. The bullets stitch across Brenner's chest. The lieutenant falls back against the detonator, his blood staining the shattered device. The bridge is theirs. But the cost is catastrophic. 1 tank destroyed. Their translator and second-in-command dead. Their own tank crippled. And in the distance, the sound of German reinforcements approaching. Riedler looks at the faces of his remaining crew, Grimy, Chavez, and the traumatized Miller. They have taken the objective. Now they have to hold it against the entire German army. The initial shock of the American attack has worn off. The Germans are regrouping with terrifying speed. The firefight has become a siege. Searchlights from the far bank sweep the bridge, pinning the remaining 3 Shermans in stark relief. The air reeks of cordite and blood. A jagged hole is torn in the hull near the driver's compartment. Chavez clutches a bleeding shrapnel wound in his leg, his face pale. Riedler, into radio, voice ragged. Viper, Wraith, status. Viper, VO, filtered through, radio, static. Viper here, we're mobile. Heavy infantry on our left flank. Wraith, VO, strained. Wraith holding. They're bringing up another gun on the far side. A German MG-42 opens up, its distinct ripping sound echoing as bullets scream off the Badger's armor. Grimy. They're zeroing in. We can't stay here. Riedler. We don't have a choice. Miller, get a bandage on Chavez. Danny Miller scrambles, hands shaking, to help the driver. He's not the nervous kid anymore. He's operating on a grim, terrified autopilot. A German squad attempts to rush the disabled Badger. From the nearby Viper, its machine gun hoses them down. But the exposure is fatal. A Panzerfaust rocket slams into Viper's side. The tank jerks violently, smoke pouring from its hatches. It falls silent. Wraith, VO, screaming over the radio. Viper is hit. Viper is down. Riedler smashes his fist against the hull. They're down to 2 tanks, one of them crippled. Riedler, into radio. Wraith, this is Badger. New priority. You see that secondary demolition charge on the far pillar? They're trying to rewire it. You must deny them that bridge, at all costs. A heavy silence on the radio. Wraith, VO, accepting. Understood, Badger. Deny the bridge. Wraith, moving. The sole remaining functional Sherman, Wraith, lurches out of its cover and onto the bridge itself, its guns blazing, charging directly into the heart of the German defenses to stop the engineers. They watch through periscopes as Wraith becomes a blazing hero. It smashes through a German barricade, its machine gun cutting down the engineering team. But it's a suicide run. A half-dozen anti-tank rounds hit it simultaneously. Wraith explodes in a cataclysmic fireball, lighting up the entire night sky. The bridge is now swarming with Germans advancing on their position. They are the last ones left. Grimy, voice low and final. That's it, Captain. It's just us. Riedler's eyes fall on Brenner's body, still lying by the detonator. He sees the German reinforcements crossing the bridge. He makes the call. Riedler, into radio, voice dead. Command, this is Badger Actual. Objective is compromised. Executing denial protocol. I say again, we are burning the bridge. There is no response from command. Only static. Riedler Miller. The satchel charges. Miller freezes, staring at the heavy bundle of explosives. Danny, sir. We're still on it. Chavez can't move fast. Riedler. We're not getting off this bridge, son, but we can make sure they don't either. Now move. The order is a physical blow. Grimy grabs the satchel. Grimy. I'll do it. You cover me. Riedler nods. There are no words. Grimy bursts from the Badger, the satchel charge in hand, sprinting towards the main support pillar. German infantry fire erupts around him. From the Badger's hull machine gun, Riedler lays down, suppressing fire. It's a futile, glorious gesture. Grimy is almost there when a bullet hits his leg. He stumbles, but gets back up, limping forward. He reaches the pillar, slapping the charge into place. He turns, giving Riedler a final grim nod. A German grenade lands next to him. The explosion swallows him whole. Riedler screams in fury and grief. He turns to Miller. Riedler, the detonator, now. Miller, tears cutting clean lines through the grime on his face, hands him the plunger. Riedler looks at Chavez, who gives a weak, resigned nod. The Germans are feet away from the tank, surrounding them. Riedler's final words are not a scream, but a whisper. Riedler for the Warthog, for Ghost, for Viper, for Wraith, for Grimes, for Brenner. He slams the plunger down. The world turns white, then orange. The central support pillar of the Eisenkron Bridge erupts. The iron structure groans, twisting and collapsing into the dark, rushing waters of the Roer, taking Germans, equipment, and the shattered Badger with it. The sun rises over a quiet front. A reconnaissance patrol moves cautiously forward. They find a single dazed figure stumbling through the mist. Private Danny Miller, the only survivor, washed ashore, downstream. He is clutching a blood-stained, German-painted piece of the Badger's hull. He doesn't speak. He just stares back at the river, where a broken bridge stands as a tombstone. He is the only one who knows the price of the rubble in the river. The only one who knows the story of the wolves who wore the wrong skin and saved an army by becoming monsters.